Hi, my name is Justin Ripley, and I'm going to be talking about visual learning principles. And I apologize if my voice is kind of rough. I am recovering from, excuse me, the flu currently, and so I have a little bit of trouble talking, but I'm going to do my best to get through it. All right, so here we go. So, like I said, I'm Justin Ripley, and I'm going to be talking about learning principles today. And let's get started. So, for the technology that I utilized, I used Canva to create a presentation along with its various tools, icons, and elements. I also utilized Screencastify to help me record this presentation. And then here are the screenshots for both of those to show what I used. Why visuals? Aaron Campbell suggests that symbols, images, pictures, and more have a valuable and significant impact on the human mind. She also reveals that visuals help solidify terms being taught and allow for a better learning experience as direct instruction diminishes over time. And design principles. Excuse me. Design principles. The blended learning and digital education video highlights Richard Meyer's principles in stating that educators should perform in a way that engages student cognitive growth but does not overwhelm the learner at the same time. Continuing with the principles, excuse me. In fact, these principles argue that it's not only visuals that are engaging, but students learn best when visuals are integrated with verbal information and other tools. Another principle, called the modality principle, promotes the idea that when speaking, one should limit using text and instead use pictures to help engage with students and their learning environments. The coherence principle, excuse me, I'm sorry. The coherence principle is yet another principle in this video which argues that distractions should be removed whenever possible to help student learning. And moving on to this last portion of this part, the principles part 3. This video covers the segmenting principles as well. This principle promotes that learning is best achieved when broken up into smaller segments or chunks, and mostly to not overwhelm students with too much information. The final principle that I will share with this is called the personalization principle. Essentially, the overall message of the content should avoid overly complex wording, so the student does not have to worry about mastering the content on top of their current load. Overall, these principles exist to ensure the best learning environment and engagement from the learner is achieved. Benefits of visuals. It helps store information longer. It makes communication quicker and simpler. It aids better comprehension. It acts as stimulators for emotions. It drives motivation. And this is the kicker. This is the different one of these benefits. Number 6 is unsuitable visuals equals unhappy learners. So the first 5 were very positive, talking about the benefits of visuals. But number 6 is more or less going into the impact that negative or poor visuals have on a learner. Visuals promote learning in all these ways. Research suggests that roughly 65% of the population comprises visual learners. Therefore, it's imperative that students have good visuals which help their learning experience. Text versus visuals. While text and visuals are both important tools, it is best to combine both of them to create the most effective learning environment for the student. And this graphic shows a little bit of how visuals and text break down. 65% of individuals learn best through visual means. 90% are transmitted to the brain 90% of the information transmitted to the brain is visual. The use of visuals has been found to improve learning up to 400%, and visuals are processed 60,000 times faster than text alone. How to make engaging visuals. Here's a little embedded video that I attached with a little how-to tutorial of how to make an easy educational video. Educators will often have to engage in technology to effectively teach young learners at some point. Betts Masters, who is the author of this video, or the creator, he argues that the easiest and most effective way to have engaging content is to create PowerPoint presentations. He also goes into 3 simple steps to follow to ensure you're making engaging videos. These 3 steps are: do not start on a blank page, correct your ums and ers, and do some editing beforehand to ensure your work is coherent. He also promotes that you should make your presentations visually engaging to keep attention of the audience members. And finally, he reveals the benefits of using PowerPoint, as there are many tools that are embedded within the program that help make engaging visual presentations. And at the same time, there are a large majority of teachers who are very comfortable using PowerPoint presentations and Microsoft tools through Microsoft Office. Ensuring effective instructional videos. Matthew Fifield, Michael Henderson, and Michael Phillips, all of Monash University in Australia, compiled a list of 25 principles for creating positive and effective video lessons and designs. They list their reasonings for conducting the study as this paper reports on the first phase of a broader study into effective design of instructional video. Part 2. Excuse me. Fifield, Henderson, and Phillips reveal that cognitive theory of multimedia learning, CTML, which is based on cognitive load theory, presents theoretical propositions and experimental data that aim to guide the process of multimedia design from the perspective of how the learner processes novel information. CTML is based on the premise that humans have a limited capacity to process new information, and that learning involves consciously organizing this information into long-term memory, which is effectively limitless. In promoting visual aid to learners, this can ultimately help foster the development of long-term memory of content being conveyed. Part 3. So these are 2 screenshots of those tables with the principles for Fifield et al. And so, sorry, the first column seeks to minimize distractions in the learning environments. The second column seeks to learn content as early as possible. The third seeks to make original connections to the materials. And the fourth and last column seek to discuss the types of technology and software available to display videos. However, there are limitations to this method, such as more research is needed to understand the impact that student willingness has on this field. Here are some additional resources that you can look at to help with that, but otherwise, that's the end of my presentation, and here is my reference list. So thank you so much.